It wasn't he's our quarterback forever, but it also wasn't, I'm going to fight this thing, or even even any sort of ambiguity. My takeaway is that Tony Romo doesn't want to be asked about wanting to be the starting quarterback. He does. But he also knows that Dak Prescott should be allowed to not just succeed, but fail and still retain the position. That's my biggest takeaway is though he wants to be on the field and he's chomping at the bit for the ability to be on the field, and he knows how good that team is. Like, look, when I came up, I'm sure I had some bad moments, and I kept my job. Having a bad game or a couple bad games should not unseat Dak Prescott. Fascinating. And he said football is a meritocracy, which I also believe. And it was used properly in a sentence, even better, right? God, he nailed it. It was so good. That was really, really good. I don't think it's... Again, Adam just asked me in my ear. Go ahead, ask me on air.
I asked you if his Dallas career is over.
Maybe, or maybe not. Right?
I mean, I think it would take a Dak Prescott injury for him to get his job back.
Or Dak Prescott to suck for three games in a row. Or 2 games in a row. Like, again, it's a meritocracy. It's more likely... It was always skewing more likely that it was over once he started to play well going forward into next year. My only question was this year and what gives you a chance to win. I will still contend that Tony Romo gives you the best shot of winning in the playoffs. He just does. But as Tony Romo said, something special's happened with that football team. And he's been that kid before. And they should have beaten Seattle in Seattle when he dropped the snap. So his career was likely to come to an end barring some late season rise in Super Bowl win, or Dallas' career was likely to come to an end anyway because of the amount of money he makes and the amount of money that Dak makes. But this was really, really smart from Tony. It was really, really honest from Tony. And I think it buys them the ability to have a bad week or two and not feel like you got to run to Jerry or run to Tony or run to Jason Garrett and ask, all right, now are you going to make a switch? So, yeah, Dak's been better than Osweiler, but it's a much better offensive line. And Tony, the last time he was healthy, was really, really good. Maybe not as much last year when he's battling, came back too early from injury. The amazing part about football is the amazing part about all sports. It just does not love you back, right? It does not love you back. Football and basketball and baseball, they don't love you, dude. They don't. Tony, and I know this because I'm close with, I know Tony pretty well, but I also know a lot of his friends really well. He spent 3 years building a house in Dallas. And it's supposed to be amazing. It's got like a basketball court. It's got like everything. And he had his teammates over when he christened it. And he's a guy's guy. Anytime I've ever been somewhere and Tony Romo's there, he's in the middle of a bunch of guys. He's very normal. He's like anybody else. Talks sports and movies and music and other stuff. But you think about this. What he's suffering from, and his body breaking down, is one, because he played through injury, and two, he came back too soon from a collarbone break last year. You guys remember, he broke his collarbone. He was back 5 or 6 weeks later and then broke his collarbone again. And as much as you'd like to say, well, that should earn you some bonus points for when you eventually do come back. It's not the way it works. Just doesn't. Train's leaving the station. Left without him. And you can go and hop on board the train at the next stop or 5 weeks later, but somebody else is sitting in the good chair. That's Dak Prescott. I thought it was really honest, really well done. I think it does buy them time. And I can't tell you how much respect you got to have for a guy that says, I want to be out there. But that guy's earned the right to be out there right now. And I'm not going to be sitting here kind of trying to cut his legs out from underneath him. because I know what it's like to be that guy, and I didn't want the guy on the sideline to not help me.